And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Everybody who's traded has gone through periods of time where their strategy hasn't worked.
Where if not a hard stop, you should reevaluate the trades you're in based on time.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Market Recap, Tuesday, November the 29th. I'm John Hoagland. As always, thanks for trusting me with your time. Hope you had a good trading day. Hope you're feeling good, like the song says. We didn't get to the horn part there, but that's all right. So our equities kind of held up actually pretty well today. S&P's closed down about 7 points approximately. The NASDAQ down about 87 points, and the Dow down 1. Less than 1% on all of them. 0.75% loss in the NASDAQ, which is the largest of the equities and their losses. Crude oil was up 96 cents today after that big dive to the downside. 78.20 is settlement in crude oil, up about 1.24%. The White House has announced that it is looking to fill or refill the Strategic Petroleum Reserve with crude at $70 a barrel. Working on getting there, I guess. We're about $8 from it, but we'll have to see if we can get there so they can refill the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. OPEC Plus stated that it's likely to maintain its current output policy in December. Also said that they may change their current output policy in December. The president has passed the buck to Congress to solve the railroad strike, which they're looking at litigating that. And the yield curve inversion, get this, the deepest we've seen in 40 years, the 2 to 10 year yield, the biggest inverted curve since Ronald Reagan was the president. How's that for news? As always, make sure you hit the lucky like button. Share, comment, question, feedback, heckling, and love are always welcome on the Market Recap. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You get notifications when we do go live. If you joined me for Make Hoag Money today, we had a couple of smaller opportunities. Ended up kind of getting stopped out at +1 or +2, whatever it was. And then the markets really started to move. Unfortunately, we didn't get the opportunity to participate that and Make Hoag Money, but we just were patient, looked for a good opportunity, saved some money, and we'll look forward to tomorrow's Make Hoag Money, which will be in the afternoon. Tomorrow, of course, we have group coaching at 12:30 and Make Hoag Money at 2 p.m. Central tomorrow. If you watched the Coach's Playbook today, thanks for watching, and it's a pretty good one. I mean, it's something that we all deal with as traders. When we do end up in directional markets, it becomes increasingly more difficult, I think, to try not to pick lows or to pick highs. It's the easier thing to do, right? The market's moving directionally to the downside. We are forced, if we're going to join that, to sell at lower prices, which is difficult. I think overall mentally for traders to think, well, I got to sell low to buy lower instead of selling high and buying low. I think we all tend to become reversion traders when the market becomes directional. We had a good chat about that today on the Coach's Playbook with my good friends Jack and Dan. Yes, Keith, it is time to reflect over your trading day. We should be kind of putting together some sort of structure for us to do that. We talk about doing the homework before the open, making sure that we're aware of what we see in the markets and what the markets are telling us as far as context is concerned. We prep for the trading day. We trade, and then we reflect at the end of the trading day. What did I do? Did I follow my plan? How close to my plan did I follow? What did I miss? What could I have done better? What did I do really well? I think it's, equally as important to point out the things that you did well in a trading day, not just focusing on the things that you may be kind of viewing as a mistake. So we're going to take a look through the charts. We're going to take a look at some things that have happened in the world and in music today, and we'll be all ready for tomorrow. By the way, tomorrow is a pretty big day as far as the economic releases are concerned. We have the ADP employment report at 7:15 Central. Just after that, the second estimation of GDP for the third quarter. We also have international trade and goods. Those are both at 7:30. There's a couple other things coming out at 7:30. Wholesale inventories. Kind of a smaller release, but we don't know which ones are going to be kind of picked out as really important at that time. Chicago PMI at 8:45 tomorrow. Job opens, labor turnover, and pending home sales at 9 a.m. Central. And then, of course, 9:30 a.m. Central, we've got the EIA Petroleum Status Report. And 12:30, just around lunchtime, the Fed Chair Powell is going to be speaking. Tomorrow is also the Beige Book at 1 p.m., which means that it's 2 weeks to the next FOMC meeting. We'll all be looking forward to seeing that, of course, right? So big day as far as economic releases, as far as the number of them tomorrow, probably the most important yet to come on Friday with the unemployment numbers. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Frozen Gum Wad. Does anybody else want someone to talk to about trading? I trade daily, and I'm just looking for someone who wants to discuss trades during the day. I'm on Twitter under the same name, Frozen Gum Wad. Somebody, if you're looking for somebody to chat and to kind of toss ideas back and forth, sometimes it's a good idea to have yourself a trading buddy. Look up Frozen Gum Wad on Twitter. I just love that chat name. Glitter Sandwich, good afternoon. Tough but broke even today. That's a good day. George, good afternoon. Rooster, what a day. Vince, good afternoon. Jerry is awake. I hope John is too by this point in the day. Haggle Matters, good afternoon. Jerry is awake. I'm listening to Jim Rohn. Bad day, but good day for me. Walked away when I reached daily loss limit. That's good. Keith, always reflect after every trading day. Amanda, it seems the market kind of ignored the weekly kickoff low, but not really, because it spent the rest of the day around it. They're always making it difficult. They always do, Amanda. We're going to check that out in the charts here very shortly. JD, good to see you. 650 today. That's a good day. Nice job. Jay Gilmo has cheater lines. I don't know what those are, but hopefully they're going to be helping you. Rest of the week is going to do a number. Yes, Ben, it certainly is. Mike GA, pass those lines, Gilmo. Pass those lines. JD's asking you for those lines. Eddie, good afternoon. Scott saw and he conquered. Ben Ryan Black, you bet, Frozen Gum Wad. Dr. VJ, good afternoon. Great Dane, hello from Denmark. Hello, Great Dane. Thanks for chiming in and saying hello. Not sure that I've seen that chat name before. If this is your first trip to the recap, hopefully you'll find something interesting and useful for your trading. Jan R., good afternoon. Kept to the rules on a down day. That's good. You're still here to play tomorrow. All right. Let's rifle through these charts here, starting with the daily in crude. We talked about a loss in open interest yesterday. Greetings, Daryl. So the loss in open interest yesterday seems as though the market has really found a support level around 75, 74 bucks. We were down there here. We tested down to it here. We tested below it yesterday. The market seems to have found some more buyers today, even with some information that could or could not have been putting pressure on price. The OPEC is going to maintain their current output. We see that the market has been pushing lower. Here's the 30-minute chart. So I think the opening range was initially the low of the session. Actually, it peaked out the low of the session, took out the high. The information from OPEC came out just about 10 a.m. Central, which knocked the market lower and then kind of recovered the market as there was really conflicting data coming from those comments from OPEC Plus today. So the market really kind of just gave up and ended the day right in the middle. Take a look at the E-mini S&Ps. It started yesterday. They're really kind of not a lot of nuances with which to kind of lean on. It wasn't looking for the big move to the downside yesterday, although looking back on it, we could have probably expected it. It traded down to weekly kickoff low or were relatively close to it. Today, we took a look below weekly kickoff low. The last week's low and last week's high were really the extremes I'm looking at as kind of keeping the market in range and in balance. We tested relatively close to last week's low today at one point and then found some recovery. Now, here's where we ignored weekly kickoff low to the downside. Okay, there was a naked point of control here, but it is now checked, but wasn't necessarily supportive initially or resistant initially. The market kind of hung around it. It became magnetic. My brother calls this barcoding. Randolph Duke calls that barcoding, and that's exactly what it seemed to do. So there's a lot of digestion going on here in the equities. Like I said, this week coming in after a long weekend, it wasn't recognizing a lot of real usable nuances. The usable nuance that we left at the low yesterday was the weak low that we put in at the end of the day yesterday. It's an unfinished downside auction. Finally, we see a degree of excess on the low here, and on the daily chart, that's going to look a little bit more like a little bit more excess off that low. So who knows what's going to happen tomorrow with the oodles of economic information due out. The NASDAQ did trade down and close below the weekly kickoff low, it looks like yesterday, finding continuation today, finding an opportunity to perhaps close below last week's low. Now, this looks more like a potential. Internet is concerned. Gremlins. Looks like we're back on now. I lost internet for a second there. I'm just having a bad day. All right, so back to the mini S&Ps. Yeah, I got my share of gremlins here today, don't I? So, yeah, you heard my blathering here about the S&Ps and about it's been difficult to find nuances that